that big for you? The change in the mindset?
Well, it is. Also, when you're in a big club, what happens is that every opposition plays the game of the season against you. So you need to be prepared for that. And, you know, it might take some time for this team to realize that every time, you know, the opposition plays against you, it's not like playing against another team. You know, you're playing at this big club with a big history and a successful club and so on. So
it was the early 90s when Alan Hansen famously said, "You can't win nothing with kids." But I was interested this week to see Gary Neville say he was right. The team I played in, he said, was not a youthful team. We had Peter Schmeichel in goal. We had Bruce and Pallister as centre-backs. We had Roy Keane. We had, I forget who his centre forward was in those days, but they had so he said the basic structure of the side was.
Well, it's what I said to you.
Pep Guardiola repeated the same.
You have to, and there's a famous saying, I think Graham Souness is attributed to saying it as well, as much as anybody, is that you're only ever as good as your senior players. If your senior players are not the right type and the right players to be good, but also make sure they're looking after the young players as they're coming through as well, then you're not going to do anything. Manchester United had that. Do Chelsea have that? We'll wait and see. Aspilicueta looks like a top pro.
Oh, he is, yeah.
Top pro.
Well, I signed him actually.
Well, he's a top pro.
Did you sign him?
You know, people like that, you know, Willian, you know, and Pedro's like that. You take these players, Giroud's. Are they the right kind? Do they, when they're training, do they help the young kids? Are they with the kids, or are they in a mood because they're not on the side? If it's a former, then you could see them having a really, really good season. I mean that.
Well, that's what really Guardiola said. I can't win it with boys from the academy. So. You can't win anything with kids, it seems. You need the experience.
Not a backbone. No. Can't win a living.
To Arsenal, who were playing Bournemouth this afternoon, 3 points that took them third.
I mean, I think this is a big win. It was
2 away matches.
What would be, for you, the expectation of this young Chelsea side this year, Robbie?
I think that top 6 would have been, or would be probably expected.
Right.
If they make top 4, it's probably very, very good. But they seem, at the moment, they seem to be really enjoying themselves. You know, free-flowing football, scoring lots of goals, and it's the enthusiasm of the young, isn't it?
It's great to see, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But it's a good mix, isn't it? You know, it's a good mix. You know, you've got the young players and they've got some really good senior players, which is vitally important.
It is. It seems to have a good balance, and there's something different about it, obviously, because of all the youngsters that are in there. But there seems to be a good unit. You know, there seems to be working as a team. You know, cohesion, like our guest in Newcastle was saying. There seems to be cohesion in this team, and it's great to see, I have to say, and it's really enjoyable to watch them as well.
What strikes me, Robbie, is it's an infamous dressing room, as you well know.
Not anymore.
Well, I was just going to say that I don't think that they warmed too much to Maurizio Sarri last year, but celebrating Batshuayi's goal, there looked to be a real effervescence about them at the moment, about that dressing room. They look very happy with themselves, don't they?
Listen, I think the appointment, we don't know how successful it's going to be, but I do think the appointment of someone like Frank Lampard, hugely respected, fantastic Chelsea career, one of the elite Chelsea footballers of all time, appointing him and getting this young man with his bright ideas, a hugely intelligent young man as well, I have to say, to get him at the top with these young boys who you can see the respect is there. Now, he's gained the respect immediately because of what he's done as a player. What he's doing now and what he has to do now is gain that respect as a coach and make the right decisions and get the team doing the right things. From what I've seen so far, I can't fault Frank at all. Maybe, like Robbie says, a little bit loose in the beginning of the season, a little bit open, conceding too many goals. But hey, this is Frank's first shot at Premier League football. You have to remember that as well, as a coach.
Absolutely.
And it's different as a games.
No, 4.
Yeah,
4. That was considered long enough. See you, Frank. Listen,
Watford this season.
Watford this season, yeah.
4 games.
Yeah. So I think we know we live in the immediacy. Football is now. It's not tomorrow or the week after or the week after that. Steve knows that. He's been in it long enough. He's been at enough clubs to understand that he needs a better performance. Not necessarily a performance. He needs a better result than he got last week, Richard. Last week was abysmal, and he was quick to admit that after the game. That was a shocking performance at Leicester. Unacceptable for a team of Newcastle standard, for any professional team, to capitulate the way they did and be as undisciplined and ragged as they were. That's not his fault most of the time. They need to sort themselves out and get a performance. It's a brilliant game for them to have. And a Manchester United side going in there, not the most confident Manchester United side you'll ever see, not the most talented Manchester United side I've ever seen. So one that you can get at, and if they could get a result, we know, the commentators have mentioned it, this has been an iconic game throughout the history of the Premier League.
Can I put it another way to you, that this is actually the worst Manchester United team that Premier League has ever seen?
Wow.
It's 2 away matches.
Is it? Well, in terms of stats, or
in terms of what we're looking at?
Well, I would probably agree that it's an opportunity today for Newcastle, because it's not the most confident Manchester United team today that goes to Newcastle. So there's an opportunity there, but you never know, because there's a lot of quality in that team, and it's one of those games that if you start well and you put them under pressure and take a bit of confidence away from United, they might actually be able to win it.
I'm just, while he's been talking, thinking about Manchester. See, he does that. So I'm now thinking of all the Manchester United teams down the history. They won the first Premier League, didn't they?
They won the first Premier League.
Well, there you go. So Fergie set the standard. I can't remember a Fergie team worse than this.
Nope.
No, because they were always first or second with Fergie, pretty much.
They did get hammered. Was it 5-0 once at Newcastle?
Oh, you just said, well, no.
They did get done by 5 at Newcastle, yes. Yes,
yeah, but they won the league, though.
They won the league.
That's right.
Well, I was talking about.
So then you're then really considering the last 6 years to answer the question.
So you would have to say the last 6 years haven't been good. This is probably on a par with sides we've seen in the last 6 years. But certainly, as far as Fergie's teams are concerned, this is way, way below the levels that he set with his teams. Way below.
Here is the man who famously is at the wheel, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Well, Ollie, rather than improving, it would appear you're in
goal recently in the last, let's be specific, Andy, 23 games?
22.
22.
Twice?
Close. 3 times.
Oh.
That's not Manchester United either, is it?
No, well,
a drought like that.
No, but we're a bit stuck in the past, aren't we? Because we always talk about Ferguson United. I mean, you tell me, I know all the managers after post-Fergie, but you tell me, a team that really lived up to what we knew with Fergie, with Sir Alex. There isn't really.
No, there isn't.
There isn't, is there?
No.
So it's, you have to just move on, and the past is the past, and it was a very successful and really exciting time with Sir Alex. It was difficult to play against them, I remember that, but post Sir Alex, and I think everybody kind of knew that post him it was going to be very difficult for the club and for any manager, and that's how it's turned out to be. I mean, we can talk about him today, but we had David Moyes, we had Van Gaal, we had Giggsy for temporary, then Mourinho.
And still they search.
They are searching.
Can they win it from the bench today?
I know what you're saying, but the trouble with Manchester United, Robbie, it's such a massive club. One of the top 3 in the world, it must be. And it won so many Premier League titles, and was winning Champions Leagues, it was winning FA Cups, and now it doesn't look like it's winning anything.
Can they win it from the bench today?
No. I mean, you look at it, I was just writing down some of the injured players, but Chong, Gomez, Greenwood, Williams, 4 of the subs that are there. But you're without Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Lingard, Pogba, Martial. Is that going to make them a title-winning side? No, it's not. That's so rough these days, because they seem to be a team that creates a lot and also concedes a lot. But this was a very un-Arsenal-like performance. 1 set play, 1 goal. The big talking point is this.
Should have had the chance to make it 2.
Yeah, I mean, we all agree that it should have been a penalty.
It's not controversial, Robbie, because they've won, but it could have been, couldn't it? And again, repeat what I said
earlier. They couldn't have complained.
They wouldn't have put it, Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bournemouth had a couple of chances in the second half, didn't they?
They had a goal second half, definitely.
Yeah, they had a few chances to equalise.
This one, wonderful. Oh,
I don't know, do you think he was trying to square it back there? Because it looks like it, doesn't it?
it's what?
He was trying to square
It back. It looked like he was doing that, yeah.
I don't know why he didn't have a go. I mean, he was like 5 yards off the
And nearly
goal line.
squeaked in as well, didn't he?
Yeah, they played really well second half, Bournemouth. They took it to Arsenal. They were on the front foot. This is not doing them any disservice, this 3 or 4 chances that we're seeing here, because they were the team that looked most likely for long periods of the second half. But they saw it out, and I think for him, I might be wrong, but I think a clean sheet for him will be very satisfactory. He'll be very pleased about that, because they don't get many.
Should be delighted, absolutely delighted. Well, it's dramatic for different reasons this afternoon. Newcastle and Manchester United. We've been talking about it all afternoon as the game that neither dare lose, and that really is the case. Steve Bruce can't afford to. Should Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Wow. Well, would the vultures be circling again as we head into